Hello, this is MTG Sly Guy with another Magic the Gathering deck tech for the Fate Reforged Season of Standard. Today I'm going to be bringing you a Jeskai build that I've been working on. It's an Ascendancy Prowess deck. I'm going to start off with the land base, 4 mountains, 2 islands, 1 plains, 1 mana confluence, 1 Temple of Epiphany, it's the red-blue Skyland, 2 Temple of Triumph, the red-white Skyland, 3 Mystic Monastery, the Jeskai Triland, playset of Battlefield Forges, the red-white Painland, and a playset of Shivan Reef, the red-blue Painland, for a total of 22 lands. Starting off the permanents, non-land permanents, creatures, a playset of Monastery Swift Spears, 1/2 with haste and prowess for 1. Probably one of, if not the best uncommons from cons. Sees play in multiple formats, just a great 1-drop. 2 Jeskai Sages. This is 1/1 for 1 colorless and 1 blue. It has prowess, and when it dies, you draw a card. This is one of my favorite commons from Fate Reforged. Just having the prowess trigger plus the ability to draw a card when it dies just gives you a little bit of added value. It is a 2-of in this deck. Next up we have Seeker of the Way. 3 Seekers in this deck. It is a 2/2 for 1 colorless and 1 white. Has prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, Seeker of the Way gains lifelink until end of turn. So everybody knows this. It's another one of the uncommons from cons that was really good. Great for a life gain. Up next we have 2 Humble Defector. This is one of the cards from Fate Reforged that kind of raised my eyebrow a little bit, because just some of the cool interactions you can have with it. If you have ways to untap it before the ability actually resolves, you can actually get quite a bit of card advantage from it. A couple of combos I'll go through in a moment, but yes, so it is a 2-of in the deck. Up next is another one of the cards that everybody was excited about from the new set, Soulfire Grandmaster. It is 1 colorless and 1 white. It's a 2/2 with lifelink, but it also gives instant and sorcery spells you control lifelink as well, which is just really cool. It's something that I don't think has ever been done before in Magic. But yeah, just the ability to turn your lightning strikes into lightning helixes and whatnot is just really cool. And it also has a buyback ability for 2 colorless and 2 hybrid red-blue. Next time you cast an instant or sorcery spell from your hand, instead of putting it into the graveyard, put it back in your hand. So yeah, it's pretty good for value as well. So it is a 2-of in the deck. And finally for creatures, we have 2, oh sorry, there's one more creature after this. I forgot I threw a 1-of in just to test it out. But 2 Monastery Mentors. For 2 colorless and 1 white, it's a 2/2 with prowess, and whenever you cast a non-creature spell, put a 1/1 white monk creature token with prowess onto the battlefield. So this guy has the ability to just get out of hand. He's basically like a young pyromancer on steroids. Yeah, he's cost 1 more, but I mean, he has extra point of toughness, and it's not only instant sorcery spells that trigger him, it's all non-creature spells. So, and plus the tokens also have the prowess ability, so it's just he has the he can get out of hand pretty quick if he's not if he's left on the battlefield when you untap. So he's a 2-of. And finally, as a 1-of, Shuyan the Silent Tempest. It is the Jeskai Con from when Sarkhanval goes back in time. It's a 3/2 first strike. Oh, sorry, 3/2 prowess for 3, 2 colors, 1 blue. And whenever you cast a non-creature spell, you may pay 2 hybrid red-white. If you do, target creature gains double strike until end of turn. So I've got him here in here as a one of to kind of try him out. His ability can be pricey, but I mean, if you're casting something like a Wild Slash or Titan's Strength, it can be relevant. But moving on to non-creature spells. Again, from the new set, we have 3 Wild Slash. It's uncommon from Fate Reforged for 1 red. Deals 2 damage to a creature player with Ferocious Trigger that can sometimes be relevant. Basically, it's just a slight upgrade over Shock. So, yeah, it's a 3 of. It's a good 1-mana removal spell. And Prowess Trigger. And also, up next in 1-drops, 2 Titan Strength for 1 red. Target creature gets +3/+1 until end of turn, and you scry 1. So, again, just good, cheap non-creature spell to cast to trigger Prowess, and adding 3 or, in most cases, 4 strength to my attack is always a good thing. And the scry can be relevant as well. Up next, 3 Magma Jets for 1 colorless and 1 red. Deals 2 damage to target creature or player, and you scry 2. This is a card that I use in combination with my Humble Defector, as well as the next card in the deck, which is Refocus. I have 3 of them. This is a new common from Fate Reforged. It's 1 colorless and 1 blue, untap target creature, and draw a card. So a lot of value in there. Basically, for Humble Defector, what you can do is tap him for his ability, and while his ability is on the stack before it resolves, you can cast Refocus on him, which not only lets you draw a card off of Refocus, but it lets you untap Humble Defector. Now this all happens before the first ability of Humble Defector has finished resolving. So you tap him again, trigger his ability again, and then control goes to your opponent. But by that point, once everything resolves, you're drawing 5 cards. So it's really a really cool card advantage situation, and it's just a really interesting interaction. And the really cool thing about him is that if you have a card like Jeskai Ascendancy in play, which I also have in this deck, you actually don't need to cast a card like Refocus in order to get him to untap. So you could tap him for his ability, cast any non-creature spell. Jeskai Ascendancy would trigger him to untap. You can tap him again, trigger it again, and then whatever spell you cast will resolve. And spells that I will use are spells like Wild Slash or Magma Jet, because what I'll do, I'll tap my Humble Defector, put his ability on the stack, he'll untap due to Jeskai Ascendancy, I'll tap him again, and then before all of those resolve, I'll cast a spell like Wild Slash or Magma Jet on him, and just remove him. Put him in the graveyard, his abilities will resolve, I'll draw my 4 cards, and that'll be that. I did spend 2 cards to do that, but drawing 4 is just better value. So yeah, that's a couple of the combos that I have for Humble Defector in this deck. Up next for non-creature spells, I have 3 Valorous Stance. This is another card from the new set that I thought was very good. I mean, the ability to give a creature indestructible, I mean, it's just never a bad thing, really. I mean, if somebody wants to waste a removal spell, you can say, no, that's okay, I'll make him indestructible. But the bottom ability on this card is what really interested me, because pretty much anything with toughness less than 4 isn't that difficult to remove for a deck like this. Like, you can have like lightning strikes or other effects that do 3 damage quite easily. So I'm really only worried about the bigger guys. So the ability to spend 2 mana and destroy any creature with toughness 4 or greater is just really cool. And so that's why I have these. This is a 3 of in this deck. So there's cheap removal and protection for my own creatures. Up next, I have 3 Jeskai Ascendancy. Don't really need to explain this card. It's everywhere right now. It's just good. And it works really well in this deck with the untap ability and the added +1/+1. And the loot ability also can be relevant if I'm holding lands. I can just draw some gas. And finally, I have 3 Stoke the Flames, just because, I mean, it's just a great card. I would probably have 4 of them in this deck, but I only own 3. And it interacts really well with Soulfire Grandmaster, the ability to convoke it out and then buy it back and then cast it again. Especially if I have Jeskai Ascendancy out, because they'll all untap off of the casting of the spell. Just tap them to convoke it, they untap off Jeskai Ascendancy, you buy it back, and repeat. And finally, 2 Treasure Cruise. Just a great card draw spell. With as many non-creature spells that I have in this deck, my graveyard is pretty quick to fill up, and just drawing 3 cards is always good. Finally, for the sideboard, I have 1 Arc Lightning, just for token strategies. It's good to be able to take out multiple creatures at a time with 1 spell. A Jeskai Barricade, it's another card from the new set, an uncommon. For 1 colorless and 1 white, it's a 0/4 defender with flash, and when it enters the battlefield, you may return another creature you control to its owner's hand. So this is another way that I can protect my not only protect my creatures from removal heavy decks or other aggressive decks that want to get my creatures out of the way, but it's also a way for me to prevent Humble Defector from going to my opponent's control, because I can tap Humble Defector, and with his ability on the stack, I can cast Jeskai Barricade and return Humble Defector to my hand, and still get the draw the cards, but my opponent doesn't get control of the creature. So, and also having the 4 toughness is good against other aggro strategies. So it is a 2 of in sideboard. Up next, Glare of Heresy. Pretty self-explanatory with all the powerful white decks going around, Jeskai decks and Abzan decks. 1 colorless, 1 white. Exile target white permanent. Oh, nice Siege Rhino. Oh, nice Elspeth. Oh, nice Anafenza. So, yeah, it is a 2 of. Up next as a 1 of is Hushwing Griff, just because there are things like Siege Rhino and Siege Rhino. Oh, and his little buddy Wingmate Rock. So this will come in against most Abzan decks. Abzan mid-range primarily. But yeah, Hushwing Griff is a 1 of. A 4th Valorous Stance, just because it's good. 2 Erase for any other decks running enchantments, depending on enchantments. 2 God's Willing, just for more creature protection against any control decks or removal heavy decks that want to mess with my stuff. Excuse me. Same with Negate. Takes care of any control decks or Planeswalker heavy decks. The ability to cancel out an Ugin for 2 mana is pretty sweet, because there's a couple of decks running around right now that use the Frontier Siege to ramp into crazy things really fast. Negate doesn't stop Hornet Queen, but it does stop Ugin. But what does stop Hornet Queen is Disdainful Stroke, which is also a 2 of. For 1 colorless and 1 blue, counter target spell with converted mana cost 4 or greater. So yeah, it's just nope. Good way to say nope. So yeah, that concludes my deck tech. This deck is a work in progress. I've only played it twice so far. I was thinking about swapping out the Lightning Strikes, swapping in Lightning Strikes for possibly the Titan Strength. I wasn't sure. I don't want to get rid of Magma Jet because it interacts well with my Humble Defector. The ability to scry 2 before drawing 2 is just really handy. So yeah, if you have any suggestions or things you would things you like or things you would do differently or things that you're working on that are similar, feel free to leave some comments. And hope you liked the video. Feel free to subscribe, and thank you very much for watching. Goodbye.